Hey, Tom here, FlipAnythingUSA. So I'm already getting another bitrate warning saying that the stream may not be optimum. So I apologize for that. Anyways, so I thought, you know, obviously people are getting laid off around the country. It's starting to look worse, looking a little more dire. The interest rates are going up. Probably going to go up even again a little bit more here soon. Expected maybe to go up as much as a full point this month. It's going to get tough. And I thought it was interesting because this is a Kris Krohn video. Just came out today. We can play a little bit of it. I'll skip through it because there's a lot of fluff, but it's kind of interesting. But I was thinking, he talks about he's bought thousands of houses with other investors. Wouldn't it be a good time to get out of the market right now? I mean, I tell people all the time, I'm so glad that I did. Listen, I dumped all the houses that I wanted to sell. If you've been watching me any amount of time, I've told you that if you're going to get out of it, this is a great time to get out of what you got. And you can hang on to what you want, but just be careful that you can afford it, or that you can justify it. But I was thinking, anyhow, you'll hear it because there's something I hit, and I'm curious what you hear when you hear this. We're gonna, at the 1 minute mark. You can you'll hear something he says, and I just wonder how you interpret it. We'll see how it goes. Hey, Russ, glad you're in here. Hume, good to see you in here. And so we'll get that started in about 1 minute.
It's the best thing I ever did.
All right, so let's go ahead and start this up.
For end of the world, like why would anyone else drive a car or truck like this with a 50 cal mounted on it? Listen, it's not the end of the world. I'm just having a little bit of fun. But there's a lot of people worried about this recession. They're like, oh my gosh, what should I do? Like, is now a good time to quit my job? Should I start a business? Should I?
Does this sound like a good time to quit your job when you're afraid of losing your job? It's interesting.
I lean in and do my job if I'm one of the 87% that hate what I do for a living? Check it out. Today we're going to talk about this recession. We're going to talk about how long it's going to last. We're going to talk about whether it's smart to be quitting a job right now, or if there might be a silver lining on a hidden opportunity of how you should be leveraging and not wasting this recession to improve your life.
All right, we're going to skip this fluff. Let's see where he starts. Right about here. Yeah, listen, right here.
Each recession is different, right? I mean, think about the Great Recession of 2008. That was a real estate market exploding, and everyone thought this is the worst of times. Within 5 years of that recession, I helped my investors make over $100 million in, guess what? Real estate.
So you hear that? They made over $100 million in real estate. So I don't know what that means. They got paid in real estate? Exactly what does that mean? You know what I mean? It's just kind of a funny way of putting it. Listen to this again.
That recession, I helped my investors make over $100 million in, guess what? Real estate.
Normally I'd say cash or equity or profits. It's just, again, you wonder where this is going. What do you think, Russ? And is this too choppy, guys? Let me know. Anyways. Okay. All right, let's get it going again.
So things aren't always what they seem. And with this recession, there's a lot of people wondering how they should play it. What should they be concerned with? On the one hand, we realize that we just went into the Great Resignation, right? People were basically trading up for better and better jobs. We are now moving into the mass firing where we are laying off people like crazy. And so it creates a lot of stress. It creates a lot of uncertainty. Recessions do that. And people want to know, like, should I hunker down and keep my job whether I like it or not?
I think I would be worried right now about, he's got a big portfolio of property and with a lot of partners, and there's a time to sell. There's a time to sell. And if you've just made this, smashing success, and we all did, right? Since 2008, 2009, whatever. I made a ton of money, right? I made a ton of money, a lot of appreciation on my assets. And I got rid of a lot of them. I got rid of, probably six. Well, I probably sold 12, 14 houses probably in the last 2 years. But the ones that I got rid of here after the pandemic were the ones, I mean, I was really glad I held them through the pandemic because I made a lot of money on them. Made probably, I made a few $1 million on not that many houses. So he's talking about his investors made $100 million in real estate. Again, you know what I mean? It's just not, normally I'd say profit or I'd say equity. I don't know what he's talking about. So it makes me wonder, but we'll see. Maybe he'll clarify it here, but I just wondered what you discerned from that myself. But let's keep listening.
Or not, is now the right time to look for a better job? Is now the right time to get into the game of entrepreneurship? If it's a recession, is that a dumb decision altogether? Today we're going to explore all these things, and my hope in the next few minutes is that you will emerge with confidence on the smartest way to leverage this recession. Why are we having this conversation today? Well, statistically, 84% of all Americans will go into retirement with less than $100,000. And by the way, these are 401kers, IRAers, house payers.
Yeah, so, yeah, Richard makes an interesting point. Hi, Tom. The usual lack of specifics on the numbers. Anyone can say, I helped my buddy make $100 million too, right? Yeah, I know. I can say I helped build Pepsi because I drank a few sodas. I understand what you're saying. But yeah, you really got to be careful with what people say. I mean, you got to really take it in. You got to listen to it because, this guy, he does a lot of carefully crafted videos. To me, it's just all fluff. It never really gets anywhere. It's all about, links below. He doesn't talk about what he's really after, which is he's trying to get people to invest with him. And so he never spits it out. Like, I put I put my course up and I say how much it is, the mentoring, I earn my money, right? I mentor people. But he doesn't even get into what it is. He's got all these, he references articles and then he kind of re-editorializes them and interprets them how he wants to or for how he wants you to interpret it. And that's kind of what he does. He takes information, reads it, and then he interprets it aloud for you to maybe agree with or disagree with. So let's listen a little bit more, and then we'll do something.
Offerers, and yet guess what? After 30 or 40 years of working your butt off, earning a single income, things don't financially turn out the way that they want. Check these stats out.
Yeah, look, nobody needs to know that they don't have shit. You know what I mean? It's all obvious. It's just obvious. Look, you have to do something. You have to invest in real estate. I think it's the number one thing. It's how I've made my fortune. But the difference between me and Kris is I don't look for OPM, other people's money. I don't do it. I think it's okay to do it on a small basis. If you got a partner, you buy something with your parents or your folks or a partner or whatever you're going to do locally on a small asset. Because there's nothing worse than having your funds far away, meaning somebody else has control of them, and you're helpless. You can't do anything. You can't dump it. You can't get rid of it. It's just like Eric. Eric just came in here. Eric just made $700,000. He's in my mentorship, and he's got another $700,000. I think he's going to make on another property. He's doing fantastic. But guess what? He holds the reins himself, and the thing with Kris Krohn and Grant Cardone is they point to assets, but they make it like, Grant's game is point to big assets that he couldn't even afford by himself to collect your money and buy with him. Kris, on the other hand, I don't know why anybody really wants to invest with Kris. He buys, from what I've seen, he just pays full retail for houses that are in tracts that I've seen. He's pointed to them himself. And, if you're going to put all the money down to buy a house with Kris, I mean, what do you need Kris for? You're going to qualify anyways. But my point with this is, if I were him, if I had this portfolio, I would want to be selling it. I would be getting rid of it. I would realize my profits on this fantastic gain that we've had over the last 10 years and get that cash together. And then when things crash, otherwise you're bound to be a part of the crash. If you hold a lot of stuff like this, you're bound to be a part of the crash. Look, he's talking about everybody's getting laid off. Well, guess what? They pay rent on houses. They pay rent on apartments. Things are going to be hurting.
comes right from the economic data from Fred on minimum wages. While the median household income in the U.S. in 2019 was $68,703,000, the real median personal income in the U.S. in 2019 was actually $35,000.
Yeah, it's hard for me even to listen to this stuff because, you know what I mean? It's like he's grabbing snippets of the newspaper. And then, I don't know what this is, but let's see. Check this out.
GDP's fall. No, this is something less serious because we've got midterms.
We'll get to the clowny stuff here.
Looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. It's political, folks. Check it out.
Yeah, so that's kind of his typical thing. Grab snippets of television, Hollywood, make-believe, right? Mass layoffs. It's funny to put this kind of information in front of people, which it is out there. But listen, you know, it reminds me of Grant Cardone telling everybody to sell their house right when the pandemic was starting. Sell your house. Sell your house. That would have been the worst thing in the world you could have done. And I think throwing your money into buying a full retail for a house right now, whether you buy it by yourself or buy it with Kris, I think that would be a big mistake personally. Okay, let's see a little more.
Your future, and it's your job to create your stability. You can't blame the government. You can't blame the news. You can't blame your boss. You can't blame your...
Okay, God. I don't know why I get so irritated listening to him. Oh, now I know why. Watch.
Your life. And by the way, if it works on one unit once, then you can do it on 2 units, and then 3 and 4.
You know, I like I say, when it's so clowny, the stuff that he does, that I expect Pee Wee Herman to walk out onto the stage. Doesn't it kind of look like Pee Wee's Playhouse or whatever that show was way back when? All right, I'm not going to make you suffer through much more.
They're getting lost every single day. At some point, you have to make the decision to be smarter with your resources. Allocate them differently.
This is the serious stuff.
That could be getting into a franchise. It could even be buying a piece of property. Whatever it is, you got to move from a single source of income
Here we go.
to multiple sources. And by the way, it's hard getting that second one going. But guess what? They say that the first million is the hardest to make in the right. 10 million after the first million, way easier. And 100 million after that, significantly easier.
I actually think just the opposite. I think it's much easier to make your first million. And then once you, or even you make several million, whatever. Because once you have all this money, or once you've amassed, at least in real estate, once you've amassed this wealth, you have to manage it. And my students are learning that. I got one student in particular, he's right at about making $3 million. He's only been in the class for 2 years. He's done fantastic. And now he's starting to feel the pain of having 30 tenants with, $3 million worth of real estate. And so he's starting to feel that, his time's getting used up managing that asset. But hey, he's made $3 million. It's okay. He can cash out. He can take the money. He's already asking himself, when is it enough? When is it enough? It's really cool to see. But anyway, let's listen to the rest of this.
Why? Because all you're doing is duplicating what works. Make no mistake, we have a storm front heading our way right now. And you can either weather that storm or you can literally thrive through it and be dancing in the rain. Check it out. Depending on how fast you acquire your first few businesses, you can acquire millions of dollars in a 3, 4, 5, 6 year period of time. Like, it's my personal experience that when someone finally hits it big and makes it successful, it wasn't a 30-year game. It was, we stopped doing what didn't work and we shifted things, and then we created success in a matter of years.
They went to the link below.
Happening most of the time. Whether saving against a recession or preparing for retirement, quitting your job can be a more responsible decision than waiting for an opportunity to find you. I have to throw this out there. I don't think you should quit your job that is producing income that are covering your expenses and look for certain types of franchises that...
Okay, so this is, he's pointing to, there's certain franchise. I don't think he's selling a franchise. I just think he's pointing you to getting you wrapped around the idea of putting your money somewhere else. He's parting you from your money. He's saying, not me, he's saying franchises. But I think this is going to come back around to invest with me. Now, it may not come out in this video, but it's going to be go to the links below. I'll give you some great ideas, and then you get a barrage of people, or him particularly, sending you emails, asking you to, seeing if you have equity in your home. Believe me, I've seen the emails. You are the cash for this guy. I don't see anything else. Richard Lloyd says, Kris is the Pied Piper. Yeah. Eric wrote, everyone wants to be passive investors, and Kris and others want to take their money because they don't. I got you. Yeah, so I agree. Everybody does like passive income. I love it. Listen, I wake up when I'm sick. You guys know. Listen, when I feel bad, I'll tell you what puts a smile on my face is the fact that I don't have to get out of bed. I don't have to work. I can go sit in the jacuzzi, for hours or whatever I want to do. I can lay around the house. I can go check on my work at about half speed. And by the way, I'm a hard worker. Right? Most of you guys have been following me. You know that I fixed fence today. I picked up tile for a shower, meaning hundreds of pounds of tile. And, these are the things you do when you have assets and you want to manage them and you want to grow your wealth. It just makes sense. And we'll be right back.
Don't stop and listen. Time is on a mission to eliminate all the snake oil and the fake gurus that fake y'all. He'll show you how to build an empire, starting with nothing but a desire. All you really need is a good mentor, not a used car bullshit. With time, you'll learn to crush it. Investing like Warren Buffett. With real estate, you cannot procrastinate. Everyone who hesitates is left at the starting gate. Hey, yo, so don't delay and join today. The mentorship and flip anything. USA, go.
Hey, Kris and Eric and Lloyd, Richard, is it shaky and choppy? I apologize. We've had some bad connections here. But anyways, a little bit choppy, guys. You know what? I can't wait to show you the new man cave. I've got in fact, one of my other students, he's about an hour and a half away from here. I decided I'm going to go ahead and interview him. He's made over $1 million too, by the way. I got a lot of millionaires. You remember how Kris said it's hard to make your first million? No, it's easier to make the first million. It's after that it begins tougher because I talk about it like being an octopus. You have all these arms out there that, these represent rentals and buildings and houses and different things that I own. And somebody's always chewing on one. And when I say somebody's chewing on one, I mean something breaks, right? You need an air conditioner, something, some plumbing problem, this and that and the other thing. Yeah, okay, good deal. Okay, well, yeah, anyways, I'm glad it's not too choppy. That's good to hear. On this side, I'm getting all kinds of errors and stuff. Sometimes I just play through it and don't worry about it, and that's what I'm doing right now. But so what would you do if you had, whatever, let's just say you had $200 million worth of real estate or $500 million of real estate that, you've leveraged into with a bunch of partners over the last 5 years. Don't you think it might be a good idea to get rid of it? What do you guys think watching? I personally would dump it. I would take the spoils. I certainly wouldn't be buying right now. In fact, I would worry for any investor that would invest in any fund right now, any fund at all right now. Buying real estate right now, you really have to buy it right. And, what I've seen these guys buying retail, that's the other thing. The interest rate keeps going up. So every time the interest rate goes up, it comes off. It takes its toll on values. You're seeing values go down across the country on new homes right now. The tract homes are probably starting to have some fire sales right now. The problem with tract homes is they can continue to go down, down, down. You could buy at what, they could drop $20, $30, $40, $50,000, relative to maybe a $500,000 deal. And it could go down that much, and then it could go down that much again. So you think you're buying in. I remember, I can't remember the exact time, but things were crashing. It was probably right around 2009. And a buddy of mine, he bought some condos in Vegas. He thought he was stealing them. They'd come down from like $700,000-800,000. He got them for $350,000. And then they went down further. They went down to $250,000. And they bounced back years later, but it took a long time. But anyhow, what are your thoughts? What would you do? If you were invested in a fund with Kris Krohn, would you want him to sell? Would you want to take your spoils now? Because I personally, if you bought anything in the last 5 years, you probably, made half again on your property. If it was worth 200, you probably made 100 on it at least, or 500, you picked up a couple $100,000, and so it would be nice to have that cash. So I would liquidate. That's what I would recommend Kris do. I would start liquidating everything that you bought in the last 5 years, because you definitely are hitting a bit of a plateau now, and possibly start to creep down. And that's what I would do. Anyways, we have the variable rates too. That's the other thing. If Grant Cardone You think about that. Think about if you have $1 billion worth of real estate. I'm not sure if I trust all of his numbers, but if you have $1 billion worth of real estate, that interest rate, imagine having, an increasing interest rate. Your payments are going up, and there's a high likelihood that your tenants are going to start losing their jobs, and rents are going to go late or they're going to go vacant. A lot of scary stuff, and that even goes for the houses too. Anyhow, let's listen. Let's finish the rest of this, and then we'll wrap up.
Have absentee owner potential status, which means, wait a second, maybe I can keep my job for a while I get this thing going. Maybe I can keep my job for a while so that I can make sure I have the money coming in, keep me out of fear and scarcity zone, start multiplying.
Isn't that great advice? Keep your job. We're going down the tubes right now. We're going into a recession, and he's concluded that perhaps the best thing for you to do is keep your job. That's a good idea.
My wealth, and then if it succeeds, then I can spin up a second and a third and fourth, and at some point, guess what you're going to have to do to optimize your game? You're going to have to quit that job. So do it responsibly. So listen, the game of franchise might be what you're looking for. Could be something different. Make sure first and foremost you're a subscriber, because every day I'm dropping videos, gold nuggets on different.
Wow, these are gems, aren't they?
Beyond that, franchise might be something you want to look at right now, and there's a link below. I've partnered with the most amazing company that is representing a dozen of the coolest, hippest, and hottest, financially most successful and stable franchises out there today. My business partner, Dan Olson, has done this for over 30 years, and he's helped grow and scale some of the largest companies that are out there. Very recognizable names. So click the link, learn more about it, partner with someone.
Very recognizable names, but he doesn't want to mention it right now while you're watching.
Get in the game, get yourself educated, and if it's right, pursue it. And it may be the means to someday quitting that job responsibly, bringing more wealth into your life, being able to hit those goals and dreams, do things with your family that are super important to you.
All right, so look, this is another video where you just get absolutely nothing. There's just there's nothing here. You learn nothing. Anybody learn anything? Tell me what you learned. You know what I mean? And when I do a video, in general, I try to talk about real estate, or in this case, right now, this is me saying, be careful of investing it with somebody like this, in any kind of fund like this. Not pointing out him specifically. It's a terrible time to buy real estate at retail. It's really bad. It's really bad. There's always a time to buy real estate. You can always make money. You should never stop investing. But buying in a declining market is not for newbies. And investing in really even going into a franchise, I can tell you right now, we have a lot of properties right now. They're kind of like ghost properties, meaning the ghost tenancy. The property's rented. I can buy a property fully leased, and it still has 5 years left on the lease, and it's got a 6 cap. But guess what? The tenant isn't there. The company I'm talking about, companies like Kentucky Fried Chicken or Whataburger and some other franchises that are pretty going companies, we all know. And they're empty. For whatever reason, they've decided it's better to sit empty, pay that rent, and not, you know what I mean, and not even be open. So that's very scary to me. And anyways, I agree with you, Liam, kind of 100%. But yeah, no, Richard, I think his model is, Rich says, I get the feeling he doesn't own anything. I think, well, I mean, legally he may not, but I think what he does, he has an interest in partnerships where he owns a percentage of whatever he's buying with others. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, Clay's a new student. Welcome, Clay. Glad you're here. Said, I'm just joining in. Kris is definitely using a lot of adjectives and pronouns without any detail. Yeah, believe me, it's maddening to watch. Listen, I'm a businessman. It's hard for me to, I almost have to tell people to get to the point. Even in everyday conversation, if you know what I mean, it's like, we'll talk about the weather later. Let's get this shit done. Anyways, hey, it's always blessed hanging with you guys. I'm sorry I get distracted when I see the thing jittering, but the economy is going down. Don't quit your job. Brilliant. Yeah, there you go, Richard. Yeah, I know. So all that, and like how it started in the beginning, should I quit my job? We're going into a recession. Should I quit my job? I don't think that's really on anybody's mind. I think they're thinking about losing their job. But, hey, always a pleasure, everyone. And, hey, I got some cool videos I'm going to share with you. I just wrapped up an office renovation. People are expanding into it. it's nice. And the nice example I make is, you'll see. It's going to be a good video. I'll edit it out. I won't make you suffer the live. But anyways, anybody got anything to share? Eric, congrats on that. Sounds like you got a good deal on a house. Eric is taking some of that $700,000 that he just made, and he's going to buy himself a house. He's going to pay cash for his home. How nice is that? That's really cool, man. That's a huge milestone. Eric, that's Eric. I mean, I said Chris. That part of the reason I did not park 1031 in the biz. Yeah, leaves you cook. Yeah, Liam. So Liam is in the mentorship as well, and also, by the way, I got a book. See, I forgot to plug the book. Forgot to hit says subscribe. Hit the like and subscribe. I don't even care about the likes anymore. Just subscribe. That's what helps. Anyways, things are getting busy, guys. A lot of people are doing well in the mentorship, and a lot of people are signing up, and it's just nice adding to the family. We got a great group, and like I say, Clay's in here now, and Liam and Eric and Russ. I mean, it's just we got a cool little real estate money-making family. It's a cool deal, and I hope some of you will come join us. But I guess I'm going to wrap it up, and I'll definitely be seeing you guys Saturday in the mentorship, and we'll see you guys later.